standard deviations above the norm. I have always regarded him as such.
Your affection for the man really shines through. According to your deposition, when you got to Rhoda Hollingsworth's apartment, the door was wide open.
That's correct. It was.
Miss Hollingsworth? Miss Hollingsworth? In here?
Oh, okay. Good question.
It's like she's been dead for a couple hours.
These must be Silas's footprints.
All right, I'm gonna call the station. Tell them to book Cole.
Dash. I'm not convinced that Silas Cole killed this woman.
Sorry. Silas Cole walked into the station holding a shotgun and confessed. You were standing there looking at his footprints, and your first thought was he didn't kill Rhoda Hollingsworth.
Not my first thought. I tend to have thoughts in rapid succession. She'd been shot in the chest, ribcage. Her heart had essentially been obliterated. Night wouldn't do that. Silas Cole said he killed her in order to save her soul. In the Middle Ages, the heart was not just a symbol of romantic love, it was the vessel for the soul. So for him to shoot her in her heart, in the universe of his delusions, he would be sentencing her to eternal damnation. He wouldn't do that. He loved her.
And the confession, the footprints.
Silas Cole was acting in diminished capacity. He may well have believed he was responsible, even if he wasn't. As to the footprints, there's no question that he was in the apartment. I just don't believe he pulled the trigger. Which means, of course, someone else did.
Your Honor, Miss Watson is scheduled to testify at this hearing. She can't be here.
Excuse me, Your Honor. I have an important message for Captain Gregson. His phone is off. I would not interrupt otherwise.
What's going on? Mr. Holmes, while you're on the stand in my courtroom, you will limit yourself to testimony relevant to this case. Do you understand?
Oh, thanks for texting, Gretchen. What happened?
While I was repairing the abdominal wall, a blood clot formed in the left ventricle.
I thought this was supposed to be routine surgery.
Thought it was out of the woods a few days ago, too. There's no such thing as routine when you're recovering from a gunshot to the abdomen.
What happened with the clot?
Got wedged in his right subclavian artery, obstructed the blood flow to his arm for about 30 minutes.
So what's the prognosis?
He might be fine,
Or
or he may never regain full use of the limb. He's in recovery.
Why is Philips Sonicare the most loved electric toothbrush brand by Americans and their dentists? Because it leaves your mouth with a level of clean like you've never felt before. Get healthier gums in 2 weeks. Innovation in you. Philips Sonicare.
Dear Freshpet, when I first got Max, my main goal was to feed him a quality diet. I decided to give Freshpet a try.
There's real chunks of vegetables and chicken in it.
And if the food's in the fridge, it only has to be fresh. He's a happy guy when he has his fresh pet.
With the title loan from Speedy Cash, you can get up to $10,000 in cash on the spot. Get the most cash out of your car and into your pocket. With Speedy Cash, you'll always get the most competitive rates. Keep your keys, keep your car, get your cash.
Love that Speedy Cash.
So, any idea what you want to do?
Now that it's just me. Actually, what Jack and I talked about doing, meet some new people, do new things, expand our horizons, and get out of our rut.
All while taking care of this place?
Well, that's the rut I was talking about.
Moving to senior living at the Good Samaritan Society is choosing to live life the way you want to live it.
Get help taking that first step. Call 1-855-GOOD-SAM.
When it feels like your family's going every which way, make time to all go the same way together at Peter Piper Pizza. There's a little something for everyone. Pizza on dough made fresh daily, savory wings, crisp salads, tasty desserts, and games that every kid loves, even the big kids. Unplug and reconnect at Peter Piper Pizza. Grab your loved ones and dig into Peter Piper Pizza's Family Value Feast. 2 large 1-topping pizzas and 6 handmade breadsticks, just $23.99. Peter Piper Pizza. Everyone grab a slice.
Can you go get this to your grandma, please?
There's just something special that makes Simple Truth and Simple Truth Organic a natural part of every family. Great food is something all generations can enjoy together. And you'll find hundreds of smart choices, even brand new products for baby and your home. Just look for the Simple Truth green circle on the label. Simple Truth, putting simple within reach.
We know car accidents don't always happen Monday through Friday. If you're hurt in a car wreck, we're available for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You don't have to wait until Monday to get the help you need now. Speedy Cash is the name you can trust for delivering cash fast. Speedy Cash has competitive rates, fast, friendly service, and most importantly, they're state licensed. Relax. Speedy Cash has you covered.
Love that Speedy Cash.
Tell me again.
Why am I here to work?
Days after he got shot before the operation.
We leave abdominal wounds open for a while. It helps reduce infection. It's absolutely standard procedure. The timeline has nothing to do with the clock. He was still unconscious when I left. He'll know more once he wakes up. I'm gonna go back to the hospital. You should come when this is over. He hadn't visited Bill once since he was shot.
You asked me to grab you while we're headed back in? Thank you for the news.
Hey, wide open doors, puppies.
I'm just saying what I need to say to get us back to work.
Well, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. You can hate what's going on in there, you can think it's beneath you, but if the judge knows that you think that, how is that good for you? Be nice. It's the smart play.
Did you put this on my desk?
At the head of all understanding is realizing what is and what cannot be, and the consoling of what is not in our power to change. It's a lovely sentiment. First expressed by the 11th century poet Solomon Ben Judah. Well, you know that because you've got a photograph of Ben Judah's bust on your day planner.
So?
Well, the saying is thought to be an early derivation of the Serenity Prayer, which is commonly recited by recovering alcoholics and drug addicts. Is that why you keep the photograph? It's a gentle reminder of the prayer.
Is this some kind of threat?
There's nothing on earth that would make me reveal a secret of that nature. As you said, tip of the cap. From one obsessive to another. Just an acknowledgement that the world we live in is so often too complicated for the rules we make to keep it orderly.
Ms. Walker, ready when you are.
You heard about Marcus Bell's complications, I take it?
Yes, of course.
I'm told they may have long-term implications for his career. In that light, I was wondering if you feel any regret about your methods in this case.
This is a courtroom, Ms. Walker, not a confessional.
Fair enough. Let's turn back to the Rada Hollingsworth investigation.
Yes, well, Captain Gregson did not agree with my assessment that Silas Cole was innocent of her murder, so Miss Watson and I explored other avenues on our own. Ex-lovers, colleagues, a neighbour with designs on Rada's apartment, all of those dead ends. But in the course of exploring Rada's life, we learned that she was seeing an oncologist named Dr. Phineas Hobbs.
When had Miss Hollingsworth been diagnosed with cancer?
7 months prior to her murder. Dr. Hobbs was administering a stage 1 drug trial, which Rada was enrolled in.
I'm sorry, Rada didn't say anything to me about where she might go when she left my office. We tended to talk mostly about her diagnosis. I'm sure you understand. You know, she was really responding to the medication. It was beautiful to watch.
I thought she might even go into remission. I guess her ex-boyfriend had other ideas.
Rhoda told you about her relationship with Silas.
Yes, she mentioned that her former boyfriend was schizophrenic. She'd ask me for advice about it sometimes. I really had no idea how sick the man was until he showed up here about a week and a half before she died. He was ranting. I thought about pursuing a committal. I should have, obviously.
Drug trials like yours are expensive, and they're not rarely covered by insurance. Rhoda Hollingsworth was a teacher. Have you any sense as to how she paid for the study?
I know exactly how she paid for it. She cashed in her life insurance for a viatical settlement.
A viatical settlement is a repugnant predatory arrangement whereby a terminally ill patient signs away their future life insurance payment in exchange for a monthly cash advance. The company or individual making those payments is essentially betting that their client will die before the payments surpass the value of the policy. In Miss Hollingsworth's case, the vulture circling overhead was an employee of a company called Helping Hands Viaticals. That man's name was James Dillon. The equation seems simple enough. The longer she lives, the less profit for you. In fact, according to the terms of employment of this place, if she outlives the value of her life insurance policy, the money comes out of your pocket. So it seems like you would have incentive to want to accommodate.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I killed her.
So where were you the night she died?
Look, if you want to talk about this, we can go somewhere else. And if you're going to grill me, I want a lawyer there. Right now, we got new leads in from a nursing home, and I got to hit the phones.
This place is a miserable warren of cynicism and despair. I think they have a hard time holding on to their employees, and yet the cubicles are full. Some of your colleagues even have diplomas on display. So it seems in this economy, your employers have no trouble in attracting the overqualified.
Yeah, so?
So, I was wondering if they know that you're a convicted felon who spent time in prison.
Who told you that?
Seems like a fair question. How did you learn about Mr. Dillon's criminal record?
When I learned that James Dillon had sold Rhoda Hollingsworth her viatical, I did some cursory research into his background. Research his employers had apparently neglected to do. That's the beauty of the internet. 24/7 access to everything from twerking kittens to criminal records.
Mr. Dillon stated in a deposition given from his hospital bed that you discovered that information from his phone, which you accessed without a warrant.
Would it surprise you to learn that James Dillon is lying?
Not necessarily. But you do tend to attract people who lie about your illegal behavior.
Who told you that?
Why, you did. That's my phone. According to your outgoing calls, you regularly contact the same local number several times a week. It's a 477 prefix. That's the same as our precinct. So we're in this one.
Yeah, you stole this.
Your calendar says you have a recurring commitment every Tuesday. Now, there's no heading on that for you, so my first thought was Weekly Brazilian. But then I noticed the address of the Tuesday rendezvous. It was 202 Broadway, which, as it turns out, is the office of the New York State Division of Parole.
Take this outside. On the night that Rhoda Hollingsworth was murdered, I was having a drink at Sharky's on Gansport. President Bond is a violation of your parole. Yeah, I got sent upstate after a bar fight. I got out of control and I broke this guy's legs. So on the particular night that you're asking about, okay, I had a lousy day at work. I mean, whatever, we're all lousy actually, but on this particular day, I just felt like having a couple of drinks with a friend. Okay, there's at least a dozen people to vouch. I was nowhere near Rhoda Hollingsworth.
We're gonna need names and numbers.
Okay, fine, but please don't tell my parole officer.
James Dillon's associates confirmed that he had indeed been drinking at the time Rhoda Hollingsworth was killed. So, he was no longer a suspect.
You are aware, of course, that it's a crime to steal private property.
I stole that property. Nor did I call James Dillon's parole officer. So, our investigation is back to square one. Usually this means a distraction of some sort is called for. Interesting.
Hey, you never came down to eat.
Oh, my legs are turning rubber.
But that? And what are you trying to distract yourself from?
Silas Cole said he was summoned to Rhoda Hollingsworth's apartment, which makes me think that the actual killer summoning. Indeed, Silas proceeded further. Hollingsworth was called for 8:40 p.m.
8:40, that doesn't track.
Rhoda's neighbor thought she heard a truck backfiring at 7:35. That had to be the shotgun blast that killed her. So why would you kill Rhoda at 7:35, then wait over an hour before calling Silas to the scene?
Why, indeed. I've been considering Rada's autopsy. Her blood potassium levels were 22.4. That's quite high, isn't it?
Not for a body a few hours post-mortem. After you die, your cells start leaking potassium into the bloodstream. So the longer you've been dead, the higher your potassium level. Of course, if you killed Rada, then waited an hour before calling Silas, it could be because you wanted the potassium in her blood to build up.
And what would be the purpose of that?
I don't know, to conceal an already elevated potassium level?
Potassium chloride is an extremely effective way of killing someone. It does the heavy lifting of most of your state-sanctioned lethal injections.
It sounds crazy, but it would explain the time gap. And it would be easy enough for us to figure out for Red. We just test the vitreous fluid in her eyes. It's not subject to the post-mortem potassium buildup.
Of course, it wasn't crazy at all. The tests confirmed what Watson and I had suspected. Rada Hollingsworth was killed with an overdose of potassium chloride. This discovery exonerated Silas Cole, who we had confirmed was legitimately delusional. The murder was clearly the result of careful planning, and he was in no fit state to carry out such methodical work.
You're smiling. That is the first time you have been anything but irritated since we started.
Well, an innocent man was freed.
And what, in your opinion, does this have to do with what happened to Detective Bell?
Whether one believes that I have occasionally broken the rules or not, I cannot evaluate the work that Watson and I do without considering the good so often comes